regarding the youngest female, so she was a 24-year-old girl,
Okay.
unmarried girl, and she was obese. She had PCOD, polycystic ovarian
Ovarian
disease, and because of that, she was constantly on hormonal pills to regularize her cycle. And she suddenly landed up with some chest burning, and she came to the emergency in the night, and we checked her ECG and we saw that she had a heart attack, and we couldn't believe it ourselves.
Yeah.
So, Tushita, I think around COVID or just after COVID, there were a lot of celebrities who died of heart attacks.
Yes.
And these people were supposedly active gym
healthy.
goers, etc. Any bout of undue or heavy exercise can cause problems. It's mostly the negative emotions, the anger, depression, anxiety, frustration. These are all the emotions which cause an increase in your heart rate, your blood pressure, your stress hormones like the adrenaline and cortisol go up. And with all of these factors, I think now the most important thing that's going to happen is digital detox. People just need to have intermittent digital detox, because I think nobody can sit and talk to anyone anymore. Even if you're sitting, everyone will be looking into their mobiles.
I'm fit, I run marathons. I can't have a heart attack. Myth or fact?
So this is a myth.
Butter versus ghee versus olive oil. Best for heart health.
Olive oil is definitely the best because it has unsaturated fats.
Is wine really good for heart health? And on what is the best time to do an exercise?
Morning is the best time, but in case you have a challenge with timing, consistency, and consistency is very important.
Red wheat, yes or no?
No, absolutely not. Ideally, though, you should avoid, but once in a way is okay. It's like an occasional, kabhi kabar to cheat banta hai.
A conversation that's becoming more urgent with every passing year. Heart attacks used to be something we associated with old age, high cholesterol, and long term smoking, but not anymore. More and more young adults, people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, are landing in emergency rooms with heart attacks. And the scariest part, many of them had no idea they were at risk. Today, we unpack what's driving this trend: lifestyle, stress, genetics, and the silent habits that catch up faster than we think. Joining us today is one of Pune's most respected names in cardiology, Dr. Priya Palamkar, an MD in medicine and DNB in cardiology. Dr. Palamkar brings not only deep clinical knowledge but also decades of hands on experience in the cath lab. She has performed over 12,000 plus angiographies, 1,200 plus angioplasties, 220 plus permanent pacemaker implants, and 175 plus balloon valvoplasties, a testament to her skill and dedication to saving lives. Known for her patient centric approach and sharp diagnostic acumen, Dr. Priya Palamkar is a trusted name for anyone seeking expert cardiac care. Hello and welcome to Sayadri Health Talks. I'm Dr. Tushita, and today we have with us Dr. Priya Palamkar. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Tushita. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm on top of the world.
I'm doing great because I have you with me on Sayadri Health Talks.
Thank you so much.
And I have been really wanting to have you on this, couch for a long time.
Thank you.
So the topic which we chose today is, heart attacks in young adults.
Yeah.
And we are going to talk about every aspect of it. But before I do that, I wanted to ask you, it's been 20 plus years doing this. And I know how the life of a cardiologist goes. I mean, you keep juggling between cath labs to OPDs to rounds, and still you manage to look this beautiful and elegant. So you always wanted to be a cardiologist?
Yeah, actually not really a cardiologist. It just happened by chance.
Achha.
I wanted to be a doctor, and in fact, to start with, I actually joined engineering college. I did 15 days.
Oh my God.
And then I switched to medical college.
Achha.
And it was my parents' desire that I be a doctor, and I think I did well.
Oh yes, you
But
did.
after medicine, I had no such plans of cardiology. It just happened. I saw an ad and then I took it up. And here I am.
So I think it's all destiny.
Absolutely. I totally trust that.
Lovely, lovely to have you with us today. So the topic which we chose today is, young heart attacks.
Yeah.
So what we always believed, and from the childhood times, we have heard that heart attacks were typically a condition or a thing which were happening in old age groups.
True.
But that's not the truth anymore. We are seeing the shift in the cases where there are young adults, and every year it becomes more grave issue, because every year some or the other celebrity at a very young age loses the battle when
Yeah.
it comes to this.
Yeah.
So why are we seeing this shift of this age group, and why is it more common in young adults these days?
So I remember when I was doing MD, if a young person below 40 came with chest pain, we never did ECG also.
Yeah.
But the first time one gentleman walked in, he was 35 years old, sweating profusely and having severe pain. And when we did an ECG, we found that he had a heart attack, and that was a big surprise for us.
Acha.
So I think from then on, I have been noting that the shift is happening towards the young people.
Yeah.
And especially more so around COVID, pre and post COVID also. I think it's because of the change in the lifestyle. Time is so premium, everyone is so goal oriented. People are not
Fast
taking care
pacing
of
and
their
all.
life.
Yeah.
As in, the diet is full of fast food. People want to party 3 days a week. I mean, it's not that you shouldn't, but you should know where to control.
And where to stop. Yeah.
Your sleep habits are so important, and people are, the circadian rhythm of the body is totally disturbed. And I think all this together with the stress has really contributed to heart attacks in young people.
So, ma'am, you spoke about two things here. Okay, one was the lifestyle thing which
Yeah.
is contributing. The other one was the post-COVID also.
Right.
So, starting with the first one where you spoke about lifestyle. So, we know there's always a genetic factor which contributes to cardiac issues and heart attacks. So, which is more stronger? A genetic factor, which is a hereditary issue of having cardiac issues, or a lifestyle, which is more dominant, or I would say more threatening?
So, the studies have revealed that Southeast Asians have some genetic predisposition towards heart attacks. And typically, if you see Indian lipid profile, you will see that they will have a low HDL, that is a good cholesterol,
Good cholesterol.
a higher triglyceride level.
Yes.
And these two things together, they generate something called small dense lipoproteins, which are more atherogenic, by which I mean that they increase the process of formation of blockages.
Acha.
And this is like on the background. And to top it all, if your lifestyle, as in your diet is chaotic,
Sleep
there's no
cycles are
exercise
disturbed.
routine, sleep cycle, so all these lifestyle issues over and above the genetic predisposition, that is what is causing the major shift.
So these are more kind of the modifiable and non-modifiable
Correct,
factors.
correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So genetics becomes one of the non-modifiable factors that you
Absolutely.
cannot do anything about
Yeah.
it.
Genetics, being a male, that the men are more predisposed to having heart
Yeah,
attacks.
yeah.
And we always thought that women are protected by the estrogen hormone till they reach menopause, and post that they become
Equally exposed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all these factors are there which play in heart attack. So it's not just one cause.
Yeah.
It's
You cannot pinpoint a single cause.
absolutely. It's an amalgam of various modifiable and non-modifiable
non-modifiable
risk factors. So many a times, the young people come to us, and after the heart attack, they are in a state of shock, like how
Mujhe
can it
kaise
be?
ho
Yeah,
gaya?
how can it be
Yeah.
me? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have to explain to them what are the issues, what is
What went wrong,
what really went wrong,
Yeah.
or how can we improve your condition.
Yeah. So this was about the genetics and the lifestyle part.
Yeah.
One more thing which you spoke about was the COVID.
Yeah.
So there was a huge hue and cry during the COVID season, and post COVID also, that if you have COVID, you will be at greater risk of heart issues. You have taken COVID vaccination, your heart is more at the risk of having heart attacks. So is it really true? Has it impacted?
So,
Because
you know,
there are many of us who have taken vaccines, right? I mean, especially us.
we have
taken-
also taken.
Yeah. So, pata chala ki, are we seriously at a greater risk than those who didn't?
So, post COVID, there were instances of increased heart attacks, even actually during COVID, not post. So during COVID, COVID was a condition where there was an inflammatory state in the body, and there was an increase in the thrombus, that is the clot formation in the arteries.
Correct.
So that was the time when we saw more people developing strokes, heart attacks, etc. And not just that, this also led to an increase in that, the process of formation of the blockages in the heart arteries. So it is said that people who have had COVID, they have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease for up to 3 years.
Acha.
Whether it was a mild infection or whether
Or
it was
the
a
major
severe
one,
infection, still that risk is there. And this has been studied, and actually, I think we have very authoritative bodies coming up with these kind of statements like Cleveland Clinic and so on. So I do believe that yes, there has been some effect. And
Is it the same with the COVID vaccination also?
yeah, so what is a vaccine?
Yeah.
A vaccine is giving the person a very
Dose.
small dose of the infection,
So that the
and
body
then
can prepare
stimulate
the antibodies.
Absolutely. So even that, if you look at it, would be some
To
increased
some
risk.
level,
To some
it
level.
might be thing.
Yes.
So when it comes to going back to the lifestyle part again, as you said that partying, which predominantly includes a lot of drinking and smoking. So smoking causes heart attack is no longer a secret. Okay, so it's a known thing to everybody, and that also brings to a new trend, I might say, which is like people are shifting from smoking to vaping.
Yeah.
Considering that vape mein tobacco content is less and it's much safer, but is it actually that, I mean, or how is vaping equally bad as smoking?
So actually, I learned this term vaping,
Vaping.
from my son,
Acha.
because he told me that there are boys who are vaping these
Vaping.
days very regularly.
Huh.
So, any form of tobacco or nicotine is not good for the heart health. So it would increase your heart rate, it would increase your blood pressure, it would narrow down the arteries, increase the atherosclerosis. So, you're just consoling yourself that nothing will happen, because something would happen if you go on vaping, as
In contrast to the smoking part, you're shifting to vaping.
Yes.
So, what would be a few, preventive measures that these young adults, because what happens is most of these people, they don't even know that, they might be at risk. And most importantly, as you said, कि nobody can accept the fact at the first place कि मुझे भी ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है.
Absolutely.
So, what are the tests or checkups that you recommend annually?
So ECG is really basic. ECG, 2D echo, and stress test. Actually, I think that stress test is so important in young people. So many of the health checks, which are done in the offices, like the
corporate
annual
setups.
corporate health
Yeah.
checkups, sometimes they have just ECG. A plain ECG doesn't tell you anything actually. So echocardiography, yes, something more than ECG,
A little
but yet
better.
a normal ECG or echocardiogram does not rule out any blockages. So if you typically want to see that there is a possibility of blockage, you must do at least a baseline treadmill test or a
Acha.
stress test,
Stress
what
test.
we say.
Yeah.
So because when you subject the body to the stress of walking on the treadmill, the ECG would typically show some changes, and that might suggest that whether this person has a
Is at a
possibility of a blockage or no.
Ah.
But again, the sensitivity of treadmill test is also only 75%.
Okay.
So it's just a screening test.
So do we have anything which is foolproof?
So I think now we have CT angiography, which is
Acha.
really a very good test to be done.
Okay.
And CT angiography is a OPD based test, and with some dye injection we can get the picture of the heart arteries, and we can have a fairly good idea of what kind of blockages might be there, and what is the percentage, whether it is calcified, and so on.
And also, I don't think so it needs to be done every year. I mean, there's a time span, right?
I think once in 2 years you can do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
because doing every year is also not good. You're
Yeah.
exposing your body to the radiation also.
That's
So you
also
have
fact.
to plan and do accordingly.
So when it comes to heart attack, everybody has a very dramatic image of that. कि छाती में दर्द होगा, गिर जाएंगे.
हाँ.
But reality is not that. It's
Right.
not that you have a sharp shooting pain and you collapse. It starts with something very basic, which is a chest pain, or burning sensation, heartburn, जिसको कहते हैं. So how do we differentiate between a heartburn and a heart attack? And why I'm asking you this is because we have seen in the typically patients who land up in ER, almost all of them will have a history कि ऐसे heartburn हो रहा था, हमें लगा acidity है, gastritis है, हमने इनो दे दिया, ये दे दिया, वो दे दिया. So doing this, they actually take out that golden hour.
Absolutely, you said that. Typically Indians are a very gastro or a bowel conscious community. हमको लगता है कि any chest burn is related to gas or acidity, and we waste time
Because हम
in.
खाते भी तो वैसे ना.
So people waste time. There is that sense of denial in your
कि
mind.
मुझे नहीं हो सकता.
मुझे तो नहीं
मुझे
होगा,
नहीं हो सकता.
ये तो हार्ट का नहीं होगा, ये तो गैस्ट्रिक ही है. And then they will go to medical store, ask some friend, take some home remedies, etc. and waste time. And then towards the end of the day, when the night is approaching,
Yeah.
that is the time when they think that okay, now
एक बार
let's
दिखा
go
लेते
and do
हैं.
some checkup.
Yeah.
So they waste the golden period.
Yeah.
In a heart attack, time is muscle. So the heart is a muscular pump. So why we say time is muscle is that when a heart attack happens, the artery gets completely blocked by the clot which is formed in the artery.
Yeah.
And the blood supply to the heart muscle, the oxygen supply is totally cut
Stopped.
off.
Yeah.
So if the duration between that cutoff and the restart of flow in the artery is too long, then the heart muscle gets permanently dead, and the heart pumping reduces, chances of heart failure increase. So that is the reason why time is so important.
The damaging effects are so
yes,
high.
Yes, absolutely. So I think people don't come with symptoms anymore. They Google, they come to conclusions, and they come and tell us the conclusions that I'm having heartburn and this is acidity, now you give me the medicine. So just explain the symptoms. Let the doctor decide for you whether it is this heartburn is related to the heart or it is a gastric issue. And usually a heartburn which is cardiac would be like an unusual kind of burning in the chest, right from the throat to the midline, lower part of the chest, and it would be associated with some breathlessness or some heavy feeling, as though an elephant is sitting on your chest, some pressure like
Very
feeling.
heavy chest.
Yes.
feeling.
And just to tell you that 2 days back there was this palki procession.
Yes.
And in the night, one young fellow, 33-year-old guy came, and he came with a heart attack.
Wow.
And when I got talking with his wife said that this morning when he woke up, he was having some burning in the chest, but still he went to get his bike and he wanted to do some work because he was going to be offering food to the palki procession devotees. So he just couldn't lift his bike because he said there's some load on the chest, and yet he didn't think of showing anyone.
It into anyone.
He asked his friend, you drive the bike and I'll sit behind. And the whole day he went around doing all his activities, and then in the evening he did an ECG and landed up with the heart attack.
I mean,
So much time was lost.
Yes, there's so much of time which is being lost in all that.
And another thing is that people, don't believe the doctors also. When you tell them,
True.
if you tell someone what he does not want to hear, they will go shopping and search for someone else, some other doctor, and then all that precious time is lost.
Yeah, so the golden hours is usually something which these patients always end up losing. So we spoke about ECG. So I have 3 things here, which is routine ECG, cholesterol panels, and coronary calcium scoring. What's your take on this?
So routine ECG is must because we should know the baseline ECG of the person, because at a later date when some change happens, we can compare with the baseline ECG. Please always Xerox the ECG and keep the
because नहीं तो
print, the ink
it
fades
rubs
off, or you can
yeah,
at least take a picture on your mobile and keep it in your, uh,
for your
storage
future
for
references.
future reference.
हाँ.
Lipid profile is extremely important, and I think that everyone 30 and above should do their lipid profile at least once in 6 months. Basically, you need to see your LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and of course, as I told you, the combination of low HDL and high triglyceride. So these three things are typically what we need to see, and if there is any abnormality, please get in touch with your doctor, and I'm sure they would guide you. The other thing you said is about calcium score. Calcium score is a good thing to know because those with a higher score have a higher possibility of blockages, but only the calcium score does not tell you everything. So it should be a complete CT angiography which will actually tell you that not just the calcium score, but it will also tell you blockages which are there, what is the percentage, and so on. And it will tell you in addition that whether the calcification is there in those blockages or is it some soft plaque. So accordingly, we know that the chronicity of the disease. So if it is just a soft plaque, you know that it is recent, but these soft plaques are very high chance of suddenly developing a heart attack. The calcium ones are the older blocks which develop slowly and now they've got calcified. They are technically more challenging. they may not suddenly give you a problem.
Yeah.
They will give you a lot of warning signs before they give you a problem. But for the person who is going to treat you, they are a little more challenging,
So, ma'am, what's the role, or what does mental health? How does it contribute to this? Because young adults, stress goes hand in hand.
I think mental health is so very important, and it's mostly the negative emotions, the anger, depression, anxiety, frustration. These are all the emotions which cause an increase in your heart rate, your blood pressure, your stress hormones like the adrenaline and cortisol go up. And with all of these factors, if you have an underlying stable plaque or cholesterol block, it becomes unstable suddenly.
Okay.
And the surge of blood pressure which happens can rupture the plaque inside your artery and can promote clot formation and suddenly cause a heart attack. So if you see a lot of people who have had a heart attack, if you just ask them, what was the sequence of events, has anything happened in the recent week, in the past, so they will always come up with some emotional trigger. And I have seen this very frequently. Very frequently.
Ma'am, how does post heart attack, you do the treatment, and post the treatment, how is the recovery different for a 30-year-old versus a 60-year-old?
So, as you know, the younger people, they are more resilient. They might, they will recover faster because their bodies are young, actually. But it's not just the age which is the important thing. It's also the previous health condition. So, someone who was already diabetic for 10 years, his recovery will be slower. If someone had a heart attack and got the treatment in a later period, like like I told you, time is muscle. So if they did not take the treatment immediately, they took after 2 days, 1 day. So that time lapse causes the heart muscle to become weak. And then the recovery will be slower.
More challenging.
So it depends on all this, and of course how well you rehabilitate the patient after the heart attack. So it's not just the mental health will precipitate heart attack, but heart attack also worsens the person's mental health because they are in that state of shock that why me, how come I got, etc. And you need to counsel them. You have to they need to have a very good family support. So if the family support is not that, then they slip into some kind of a depression. And anxiety, mixed anxiety,
and
depression kind of a mode.
Fear of it happening again.
And any little thing that happens, they feel, "Arey, fir se kuch ho raha hai kya mujhe?" So that, that thought is there in the back of the mind for some time.
So that was about heart attacks in young adults. So moving on to the next segment, which is a rapid fire. So I'll quickly read out some
Okay.
myths, some facts,
You
and
almost,
some
I think it's coffee with Tushita now.
yes, coffee with Ishita. So starting with the first one, what are some warning signs that young adults often ignore?
Burning in the chest. The typical burning which happens in the center of the chest from the throat right down, that is often ignored or attributed to acidity.
One thing young adults should start doing today for a healthier heart.
Stop smoking, pay attention to your diet, exercise, and I think sleep is so important, so important, because you live only once. So at least live wisely.
Live wisely. One habit they must drop immediately.
Smoking and vaping.
Okay. If you have 30 seconds with every 25-year-old in the country, what would you say?
So I think lifestyle is at its premium now. You know, you need to take care of your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your habits. And I think now the most important thing that's going to happen is digital detox. People just need to have intermittent digital detox, because I think, you know, nobody can sit and talk to anyone anymore. Even if
Yeah.
you're sitting, you know, everyone will be looking into their mobiles
Yeah.
and
That's
and
a
doing
common
something.
thing. You go to a restaurant or you go to any place where there are 5 people sitting, there will be a point where all 5 of them will be on the phone.
You'll be taking pictures of the tea, coffee, food and posting on Insta, but you won't talk to the person with whom you're having it.
You're having
it's
it.
that bad.
Okay. I'm fit. I run marathons. I can't have a heart attack. Myth or fact?
So this is a myth, because many a times people may have genetic conditions which could predispose them to a heart attack. And uh, you know, people who have a regular exercise, they have this false sense of security. They get carried away by the exercise. You know, they feel that in the gym, you know, my PR is this much and someone else is that much, and they have this competition, you know,
Yeah.
not just with others, with themselves also.
Yeah.
So don't get into a competition. Your exercise is for keeping your health good.
At place. Yes.
So it's not for you to look good. It's not just only for looking good. It's more important for you to have a healthy body.
Butter versus ghee versus olive oil. Best for heart health.
So olive oil is definitely the best, because it has unsaturated fats, and because of this, and because of its inclusion in the Mediterranean diet, there have been several studies which say that it causes good effects on the heart. It prevents the atherosclerosis or the formation of blockages from developing further.
Okay, now coming to the next question, which is, and we have heard this many times. Is wine really good for heart health?
So, you know, when some patients come and ask, like, you know, have a look at my lipid profile, and if I see the HDL is low, so red wine increases the HDL, which is the good
Acha,
cholesterol.
acha.
And if I tell, if someone who's had a heart attack and says, can I have alcohol? And I say, you can have red wine. Their wives look at me like this.
I have been trying
And-
all this while not to make him drink.
And so, you know, alcohol in moderation is okay. Red wine is the best, because it contains resveratrol, which is the grape extract, and this has some antioxidant properties which are good for heart health.
But that doesn't mean that you drink one glass of wine every
just
day. No.
yeah, just one occasionally is fine.
Occasionally
Yeah.
is fine. Okay, how important are exercises, and or what is the best time to do an exercise?
So exercise is so very important, because I read somewhere, you know, that exercise is the cheapest mood elevator.
Yes.
Okay, so we all know that when you exercise,
You release endorphins.
you release endorphins,
Happy
you
hormones.
start feeling good,
Good.
and there's you know, an upbeat mood. So I think that, you know, morning is the best time to do it, because your endorphins are released,
You feel
you've got
energized.
your joints moving,
Yeah.
and you feel little fresh for the next, the whole day
Whole
that's
day.
coming forward.
Mhm.
So it is very important, and I think morning is the best time. But in case you have a challenge with
The morning
timing,
schedules and all that
consistency,
stuff.
and consistency is very important.
Acha.
So if you feel that morning is not going to be possible, pick a time of the day which is possible for you for doing it consistently.
Okay.
That is more important.
Okay. Red meat, yes or no?
No, absolutely not. Red meat is very high in saturated fats, and it
So
is.
totally avoid it, or occasionally.
I think, ideally, though you should avoid, but once in a way is okay. It's like an
कभी कभार थोड़ा
occasional,
बहुत
kabhi kabar to cheat
चलता है,
banta hai.
cheat बनता है. So, ma'am, lastly, one thing that you do for your own good heart health.
So definitely smoking is a big no. Alcohol is very, very occasional. I try to have some form of exercise through the day. If not gym, then sometimes walking, or a little bit of yoga, something at least.
Some form of
Yeah,
activity.
and I try to keep my mental health a little more stable now.
How? Tell me how.
So there was a time when I used to react to every situation, and over a period of time you begin to realize that your reaction is harming you than the samne wala.
That's true.
So
Is it even worth?
absolutely. So why get your hormones elevated, your stress up, when it's going to harm you? So just before you react, take a moment to think about that.
That's there. So, one last question, and promise this one will be the last one.
Okay.
So, when we talk about young heart attacks, right? What's the age group that you have treated with a heart attack, the youngest person?
Yeah.
And how was the case? Tell us
Yeah.
about it.
So the youngest male patient that I treated was a 21-year-old. He was actually living with his friends in a rental apartment, and he had very bad habits: smoking, alcohol throughout the day, staying awake till late in the night, and he had this kind of gas which he felt in the night, and he thought it was because of all the spicy and food that
and
he
the
had,
kind of-
and he went and got some cold drinks in the attempt of making him feel better, and it just wasn't getting better. And then his friends had to pick him up and bring him in the early hours of morning, and he had an acute heart attack. Before we could do anything, he succumbed. So that was, and it was so shocking because his parents were not in town. He was from some different town, and they came later, and they asked so many questions about what actually led
happened.
to all this, and it was really very sad.
Okay.
And regarding the youngest female, so she was a 24-year-old girl,
Okay.
unmarried girl, and she was obese. She had PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease. And because of that, she was constantly on hormonal pills to regularize her cycle. And she was, a couch potato, never exercised. And she suddenly landed up with some chest burning, and she came to the emergency in the night, and we checked her ECG, and we saw that she had a heart attack, and we couldn't believe it ourselves. So two times we did the ECG just to see, and when we told the parents, again obviously they thought that they couldn't believe us. So then they, they clicked the photographs of the ECG, sent it to some
somebody
other
they
doctor
know.
also whom they know. This is very typical these days.
Typical, yeah.
And then that person also confirmed, and then they got ready for the treatment.
So now, then she was treated and she was fine.
Yes, it's more than 7 years now, and she's doing very fine.
That's great to know, and thank you once again, ma'am,
Thank
for
you so
coming
much.
to Sahyadri Health Talks.
Yes,
and
thank you.
This topic was something which we really wanted to
Yeah.
cover once.
Yeah.
Considering that no matter how much we talk about it, it's always less. There are still people, as you said, right? They stay in denial that ये नहीं हो सकता मेरे साथ. But I hope that after this session.
Yeah. So, Tushita, I think around COVID or just after COVID, there were a lot of celebrities who died of heart attacks.
Yes.
And these people were supposedly active
Active,
gym
healthy.
goers, etc. And after that,
Mhm.
a lot of people started becoming more conscious.
Yeah.
And this term of heart attack in young people became very, very, hot topic,
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think in a way it was good because people became more aware.
Aware.
And
Yes.
hopefully now they will try to take better care of their heart health.
True.
And it's sad that those people died, but even just now there is Sanjay Kapoor passed away just recently of supposedly a heart attack while
Yeah.
playing polo.
Yeah.
So any bout of undue or heavy exercise can cause problems. So whatever exercise that you do should be in moderation, and there should be a very gradual upscaling of the exercise that you're doing. So I think, gym goers, please, you should pay attention.
Yes. On that note, thanking you once again, ma'am, and looking forward to have you again on this podcast couch. This is Dr. Tushita signing off, Sayadri Health Talks.